the THP is active, you know, you haven't submitted your completion report yet. I'm gonna assume whatever's going on is part of timber operations. So if I go out there and it's raining, I know there's been a ½ inch of rain so far, and I see heavy equipment moving around anyways, I'm gonna be talking to the LTO or somebody and going, what the hell's going on? And if my response is, oh, you know, we have nothing to do with the THP, we have, you know, we're doing something associated with the the subdivision, we have nothing to do with THP. This is what I'm saying, you're gonna have to tread lightly. I don't want to be calling John going, what the heck's going on? You know, this is a subtlety that it's a little too subtle.
Well,
I know that doesn't completely answer your question, but if there is that potential, then I would suggest to John and Mr. Harkin, you make it very clear in that plan and to the inspector, this division of labor. This is more than you asked, but I'm going to give you this example anyways. For example, you know, licensed timber operators are supposed to be designated in the THP. And landowners, especially the large industrial landowners, will have multiple licensed timber operators on a single THP. Now, usually what happens is, you know, one person is responsible for falling, one person may be responsible for the yarding, somebody else is exclusively responsible for the road building. Well, unfortunately, RPFs don't always designate, you know, John is responsible for falling and nothing but falling, Aaron is responsible for yarding and nothing but yarding. It's just like, these guys are my LTOs. So I go out there and discover a violation. I'm not going to sit there now and start worrying about, well, you know, who's responsible for what. You guys are the LTOs, you both got violations. You can iron it out. All I know is there's a violation out here and you guys are listed as the LTO. That's going to be my analogy to what you're discussing. If I go out there and I see a violation, and by the way, anything that is not consistent with the plan or the rules is going to be a violation. So if I go out there after a ½ inch of rain and I see operations going on, I'm not going to ask if it's, oh gee, I wonder if this is a subdivision I don't need to worry about. It's like, no, there's a violation.
Plus they have to have that SWIP, you're familiar with the SWIP?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Stormwater pollution.
It's going to be a little bit challenging because the plan, if they were to do this in stages, and the plan is good for 7 years,
well, I think
some of it could be done, and then
it is challenging, but all you need to do is make sure that your road control structures are in place and that you're not doing this in December, which I know you guys want that option. But if it's July, I'm not worried about rain coming in and you guys potentially operating. So I think that's what John was asking. So when this thing gets shut down because of rain.
And that's well said. Okay.
So did that answer your question, John?
I think that answers
it pretty
good.
I'm not sure myself sometimes.
To become an expert on. Another question I had was that you know, when the unstable area, I guess it's designated unstable area number 1 in terms of one of the erosion prevention maps or something. There's a road that snakes through it. Basically, if I look at the road, it just snakes right through it.
Erosion control plan?
It's the erosion point number, ECP1.
ECP1.
Okay.
Yes.
Which is the same as the unstable area.
Right, and the road just simply snakes right through that. I think there's actually two pieces of road through it. So I wondered, you know, what you all think about that, if that's problematic.
What I was explaining, Kevin called that an active erosion point, but it's not active, and the road currently is not affected by it. The road has been constructed after that occurred. It occurred several decades ago.
After the slide.
So it's in a sort of a dormancy right now. So but there's a road above that directs runoff to that location. So if you reduce the amount of water that's directed to that location, then you can minimize adverse impacts at that location. So I made a recommendation to John that he minimize that runoff or manage that runoff such that it's not flowing to that location. And that's what we talked about in other portions of our discussion about outsloping the road or putting cross drains in, various methods that you could use in order to minimize the amount of water making it to that erosion point. But it's currently not eroding.
And also, I hesitate to ask this, but that also falls under the no timber operations except for that engineered portion. So outside of the road itself and any work that might need to be done on the road, which is going to be fully engineered if it hasn't already, the plan, and when I say that I mean the plans, anything outside of that width, whatever that is now no timber operations at all, including timber harvesting. So that the majority of that slide will not have trees removed or any sort of heavy equipment operations.
Okay.
And that's one of the recommendations that came out of today. Or actually, that one might have been in there already.
You know, there's some mention of timber operations adjacent to roads or something. Did I hear any reference to that? But, so basically, because that's a slide, there won't be any timber operations close to that.
Well, there could be because the engineers who studied that slide have developed a longer-term mitigation that will, instead of leaving it in its dormant state, will remove the potential for any failure there. And so that involves grading, putting in a keyway and constructing either a retaining wall or fill buttress.
So that's part of the longer-term development activity.
That's part of the longer term,
Okay.
and in order to do that, which is a good thing because it's stabilizing the slide, trees would have to be removed where that grading takes place.
Right, but that's part of the specified engineered area that we.
Yes. Yeah.
And one of the controls that actually the project's geotechnical experts put in was that the tree removal in that area had to occur the same year that the road construction work actually was done, so that you wouldn't take the trees off and leave it unstable. That the stabilization work has to go in conjunction with tree removal.
I think that's a good answer to that, and that's really all I was going to ask.
Okay.
And, thank you for the opportunity to get some questions in.
You're welcome. Christina, did you have anything?
Yeah, thank you again, as well, I should say, for the opportunity to comment. I did want to express my gratitude to the participating agencies for a very provocative conversation today. I think I prefer, though, the benefit of written submission for any additional comment or questions I might have.
Oh, yeah, that's your call. This is, yeah, and I can't thank you for bringing that up again, although you're obviously very cognizant of it. And anything that was said here today is fair game. I will say, I know I sometimes let my mouth say things I shouldn't, so please don't. Well, I guess you can, if you want to say Anthony's a little too facetious, I suppose you can say that. Unfortunately, there's no rule covering that, so I don't know what kind of response you would get to that. But yeah, I would, but the point is any discussion that you heard today is fair game in that, Anthony said this, or Kevin said that, or Mr. Williams or Mr. Harkin said that, I disagree, and here's why. Fair game.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, then, a little bit longer than I anticipated. That's it. Kevin, unless you got any parting words, I'm going to call it.
Just a rough idea of when we could expect the report within the next month or couple weeks.
We can't give that answer right now, Kevin. We just, like I said, we're just going to start getting our arms around it as soon as we leave.
Well, I'm going to have to. Someone's going to ask me that, so I just want to be able to give an answer.
As soon as possible.
Yeah.
Good, I like that one.
Yeah. And the last thing, well, Kevin, you'll get a copy of the report. So, like I said, once you get that copy of that report, I can say you should anticipate having second review within a week. Presuming that I'm available. And I just mean that by, other obligations, but, and same thing, when you see that report pop up on the FTP site, figure, okay, probably within the next 5 business days.
Well, could I ask that a hard copy of the report be sent to me directly?
Yeah, yes, you will, and yes, I will be sure that you get a hard copy.
Thank you, yeah. We still live in the dark ages down here, and we like to see hard copies.
Okay, not a problem. Okay, that's it.
Kevin, by hard copy, does that include email attachment, or you mean actual physical mail?
Oh, no, email would be fine. As long as it's signed and stamped, that would be okay with me.
Fine.
Okay, all right. Mr. Kites, anything?
Other than I thank you, all of you guys, for your time and your courtesy. Thought the meeting was extremely well run.
Yeah, fortunately it's a good day. What can I say?